This topographical model illustrates the physical reality of the Indian Peninsula. The sheer elevation of the Western Ghats acts as a geographic wall, dropping sharply into the vast, gently sloping expanse of the Deccan Plateau. This slope introduces a concept called topographical determinism. The bounding mountain ridges of the peninsula dictate the exact origin, life cycle, and terminal direction of the region's water systems. Because the Deccan Plateau tilts heavily from west to east, the major river systems that originate in the western mountains are physically forced to carve their paths eastward, eventually draining into the Bay of Bengal. Two of the most critical systems driven by this gradient are the massive Krishna River and the unique Kaveri River. Mapping these systems for professional analysis requires a specific set of markers. We must pinpoint their exact points of origin, trace their main stems across state lines, and chronologically categorize their left bank and right bank tributaries. Standard mapping lists often blur the distinction between the river's main stem and the secondary tributaries that feed it. Organizing these details by their physical elevation and flow path converts these data points into a coherent, predictable map of the landscape. We begin with the Krishna River. The origin point is located in the Western Ghats, near Jor village in the Satara district of Maharashtra, sitting at an altitude of 1,337 meters, just north of Mahabaleshwar. From here, the river cuts a 1,400-kilometer path to the sea. Historically referred to as the Krishnaveni, it is the second largest east-flowing river on the peninsula. This data shows the river's drainage basin, covering roughly 2.6 lakh square kilometers. Notice the northern boundary. It's bounded by the Balaghat Range. The main stem physically flows through 4 states: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. We will trace the left bank tributaries first. These enter the main stem from the north, draining the area situated beneath the Balaghat Range. The longest is the Bhima River. Originating near Pune, it flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Telangana. Due to its crescent shape near Pandharpur, it is locally called the Chandrabhaga River, before finally joining the Krishna near Raichur. Next is the Musi River. The major metropolitan center of Hyderabad is located directly on its banks, and it meets the Krishna downstream at Wazirabad. The final major left bank tributary is the Muneru, originating in the Warangal district. Because the terrain slopes to the southeast, any tributary feeding the Krishna from the north is structurally forced to be a left bank tributary. Shifting focus to the southern and western boundaries, we find the right bank tributaries. We start with the Quina River. It flows north to south within Maharashtra, feeding the Shivasalgar Lake behind the Quina Dam. Continuing eastward, the main stem collects the Panchaganga and the Dudganga rivers, both serving as primary right bank feeders within Maharashtra. Further south in Karnataka, the Malaprabha River joins the system. The banks of this tributary host the UNESCO World Heritage Temple complexes of Badami, Patadakal, and Aihole. Finally, the Tungabhadra River. Formed by the unification of the distinct Tunga and Bhadra rivers originating in the central Sahyadri, it pushes northeast to meet the Krishna in Andhra Pradesh. Mapping the river sequentially from source to mouth automatically places these tributaries in distinct northern and southern categories based on their entry points. Moving further south, we map the Kaveri River. Its origin sits at an elevation of 1,341 meters at Talakaveri, located in the Brahmagiri range of Karnataka. The river runs an 800-kilometer course, draining a total basin area that covers 4 political entities: Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and the Union Territory of Pondicherry. The Kaveri contains a distinct hydrological anomaly. While peninsular rivers are historically seasonal, the Kaveri remains nearly perennial. This occurs because of its geographical positioning. During the summer, the upper catchment area in the west receives high volume from the incoming southwest monsoon. Then, during the winter season, the lower catchment area in the east continues to receive precipitation from the retreating northeast monsoon. This constant flow is fed by a specific tributary network. Entering from the north are the left bank tributaries: the Harangi, the Hemavati, the Shimsha, and the Arkavati. Joining from the south are the right bank tributaries, beginning with the Lakshmantirtha, the Kabini, and the Suvarnavati. The southern flank is completed by the addition of the Bhavani, the Noyil, and the Amaravati rivers. Because this dual monsoon feed provides year-round water for agriculture, the Kaveri has earned the title of Dakshin Ganga, or the Ganga of the South. Viewing the peninsula broadly, we see the larger, seasonal Krishna network resting directly north of the smaller, perennial Kaveri system. This highlights an important distinction in regional mapping, the difference between the states a river physically flows through and its total catchment area. For the Krishna system, these two metrics are largely aligned. The river flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, and its drainage basin is contained within those same state borders. The Kaveri system is more complex. The main stem passes through only two states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. However, its drainage basin relies on tributaries extending deep into Kerala, with its delta reaching the Union Territory of Puducherry. Correctly identifying left and right bank alignments allows for the clear separation of the tributaries belonging to these two neighboring systems. Understanding this interplay between the river's physical course and its total catchment resolves the ambiguity often found when analyzing India's complex peninsular river systems. Viewing the peninsula broadly, we see the larger seasonal Krishna network resting directly north of the smaller perennial Kaveri system. This proximity highlights an important distinction, the difference between the states a river physically flows through and the total catchment area of its basin. For the Krishna system, these two metrics are largely aligned. The river flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, and its drainage basin is contained within those same state borders. The Kaveri system is more complex. The main stem of the river physically passes through only two states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. However, its total drainage basin relies on tributary networks extending deep into Kerala, with its delta reaching the Union Territory of Puducherry. Correctly identifying left and right bank alignments allows for the clear separation of the tributaries belonging to these two neighboring systems. Understanding this interplay between the river's physical course and its total catchment resolves the ambiguity often found when analyzing India's complex peninsular river systems.